What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again, once again. And today, people, we have a rather, unsettling topic of discussion? Yeah, we'll go with that. So Bungie is now closing off its forums to anyone who hasn't bought Destiny 2, essentially placing their online forums behind a paywall. In an update announcing the new forum rules, Bungie had this to say. Starting tomorrow, February 7th, Bungie.net forums will be updated with new post requirements. These changes are planned between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. To post in Destiny 2, feedback, gaming, and off-topic, all players must have reached the farm in Destiny 2. To post in Destiny, clans, recruitment, community, players must have a Destiny account. And lastly, to post in help, there are no game requirements necessary. Now, Bungie is a private entity. As such, they are under no obligation to make their forums open to anyone, and they can enact whatever draconian policies they want. That said, I'm still gonna call their shit on it. Because here's the thing, oftentimes, you'll find that when somebody seeks to control a conversation in such a draconian fashion, they're quite firmly on the wrong side of that argument. This is why I don't delete comments in my comment section, unless they're like adverts or something like that. And in the event that you post a comment and you don't see it, that's likely because YouTube has marked it as spam and moved it to the spam folder for review, which I more than not always approve. You know, when I actually get around to doing that, because I firmly believe in the conversation. Because I am a free speech fundamentalist. I don't believe in censorship of any kind. Because I understand at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how stupid or vile the vitriol spewing from somebody's mouth is, the tools I use to shut them up today will be used against me tomorrow. Or it'll be used against you tomorrow. So I would rather err on the side of liberty and freedom than on the side of censorship and perceived safety from mean words. However, Bungie is a company, and as a company they provide a service. So I understand the necessity of a company to police the more extreme forms of speech on their platform, if for no other reason than to protect their brand. Unfortunately, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about banning people from using a platform in a way that would allow Bungie to permanently eject any dissenting opinion from it. And make no mistake, that's exactly how this will be weaponized. All of these changes are nothing more than a way to censor the community, to rat out the unsavory elements, because once you start the forum purges, and everyone they deem heretical has been banned, they will have effectively created an echo chamber, only accessible by their most loyal vassals. Which is, to be clear, exactly what will happen. Now, these are their forums and they can do with them as they please, but closing the line of communication, even if it's just perceived that you're closing the line of communication, when you're neck deep in the shit, is not a good idea. And make no mistake, this is censorship. This is an attempt to control the conversation in the only place they can. And I say this for reasons that should be self-evident. If the forum changes only applied to Destiny 2 and the Destiny 2 feedback forums, they might have a valid argument for limiting the scope of the discussion to people who have actually participated in the game. But the paywall extends to the off-topic forums and the other gaming discussions that have nothing to do with Destiny 2. Now, not only will these changes bar anyone Bungie has determined to be heretical and thus persona non grata from re-entry once excommunicated for the high crime of wrongthink, but it will have the additional knock-on effect of targeting people who are part of the community and who have done nothing wrong except not purchase Destiny 2. These people may have been longtime fans of Destiny 1, and they waited for reviews of Destiny 2, or couldn't afford to buy Destiny 2 immediately upon release, or, as I suspect many people are doing nowadays, are waiting for the Game of the Year edition with everything bundled together for $60. Especially in Destiny's case, when it'll be $60 bundled together with the first game, the 2 DLCs, and the new expansion. So these financially savvy people are being punished for being Destiny 1 fans, but not running out and immediately buying Destiny 2 by being barred from the communities that they have been part of for years by Bungie because they didn't help fill Bungie's coffers. And I do suspect that this will be the bulk of the people affected by these forum changes. People form communities on these forums, and these changes actively seek to remove people who have done nothing wrong in the name of I can't even say it's in the name of protecting them from the trolls, because, well, this seems like an attempt to create an echo chamber and bar maybe a handful of actual trolls. But, yeah, this is pretty much like when Bungie turned their Twitch chat to subs only during the Curse of Osiris livestream, only allowing people who had paid them the right to post in the chat. Keep that in mind. That will be important later when we talk about citizens and rights. Now, you might be listening to this and thinking, okay, Joker, look, I get it, but these are just the Bungie forums. Who gives a shit? They can't control Reddit, they can't control YouTube. Effectively, they're just creating a safe space where Bungie fanboys can go and circle jerk each other. And you would be right. In fact, if I was to make a reference that will make itself apparent here shortly, this is essentially the calling back of the guard to HQ with the promise of safety from the big, bad, mean opinions on the internet. Which, in and of itself, signifies that victory is to be had on the dissidents' part, which is us. I mean, if you want to see signs of victory, look no further than the announced Crimson Days event. It's a complete and utter capitulation on the side of Bungie to the demands of the community. Rewards will only be earned via gameplay, and they've even gone ahead and set aside a handful of rewards for endgame activities, such as the Nightfall and the Raid. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say, oh my god, everything's fixed! Yay, they've listened, blah blah blah, we've won, blah 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 blah. No, we're winning. At the end of the day, this is still just a week-long doubles playlist event with some exclusive rewards, but I mean, multiplayer's ass broken and nobody wants to play it. All you gotta do is ask Triple Rec. But you know what? Credit where credit is due. This is at least another step in the right direction by the live team in an attempt to reconcile with the community. Or, at the very least, put themselves in a position that the community is willing to hear what they have to say when it comes to DLC 2, Expansion 1, and Destiny 3. I mean, at the end of the day, they are a company and they do care about their bottom line. And yet, there still seems to be this begrudging attitude towards the player base. Not only did we categorically reject their vision for Destiny, but it did cost them and Activision a lot of money. And I've got a gut feeling that tells me that they are seeing very, very diminishing returns on the DLC, and are probably projecting very, very diminishing returns on the first expansion, provided that it doesn't make the game basically Destiny 1 Year 3. And even then, attached to the original tweet that announced these changes to the world was a tweet from the community manager, Deej. A quote from Starship Troopers stating, "Service guarantees citizenship." Well, that's not terrifying at all. Yeah, there's nothing like quoting a militaristic totalitarian work of fiction that dehumanizes anyone who doesn't blindly serve the ruling class when enacting your own draconian policies. Yeah, nothing unsettling about that at all. So, let's go ahead and unpack that. If you're not familiar with Starship Troopers and the Starship Troopers universe, the TLDR is in the universe you have citizens, then you have civilians, then you have the governing body. Citizens are people who joined the federal service and were honorably discharged and given the franchise. The rights extended to citizens include: they are able to vote in Federation elections. If they wish to attend college, they are given lower or no tuition fees. This is in the film universe. Also in the film universe, they are given special permission to have more than 2 children. It should be noted that members of the military are not given franchise while still serving. They must serve a 2-year service contract to be able to vote. Another quite interesting quote from Starship Troopers about citizens is, "A citizen accepts personal responsibility for the safety of the body politic, defending it with his life. A civilian does not." I wonder, who in this scenario is the body politic, who are the civilians, and who are the citizens? Essentially, the attitude conveyed by the new forum policies and the choice of quotations by the lead community manager, the face, the liaison of Bungie to the community, the sentiment is basically, you are either with us or you are against us. If you are with us, you are people granted all the rights and privileges therein. If you are against us, you're not people. You're not even second-class citizens. And this may seem to some like I'm reaching a bit, but Bungie does have a proven track record of do things our way or take the highway. This is a very prevalent mentality throughout most of their history. Again, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. To be absolutely clear, I wouldn't have issues with these new forum policies if they only extended to forums relevant to Destiny 2. They don't. It overreaches into general gaming and off-topic discussions that have nothing to do with Destiny 2. Why?
Look and you will see there's a very select crowd in your safe space.
People that support me, mixed in with more people that support me and say nice things. Rainbows all around me. There is no shame in my safe space.
My safe space.
Bulletproof windows.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And this is because Bungie is categorically losing the argument. And in their feverish attempt to fortify their last safe haven, we're seeing what they really think of their critics and anyone who openly opposes them and disagrees with them. Which is basically agree with Bungie, the ruling body, the ecclesiarchy, or you will be labeled a heretic and you will be excommunicated and purged forthright. Well, at least Bungie was kind enough to let us know how they feel about their player base. So, there is that. Anyways, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below, and like always, stay frosty. What's going on? Joker back with an after video message. I will be on the DTR podcast live this Friday the 9th at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/DestinyTrack. Come hang out, enjoy the show, and if you can't make it out to the Destiny Tracker podcast, they will have it available on their YouTube channel, and I'll share all that information when it's made available. So remember, Friday the 9th, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/DestinyTrack. See you there.